After that, today we'll say about adrenergic agents. Now, agent is a generic word, general term. It can include two different classes. One is known as mimetics. Mimetics. Another one is lytics. Now, understand these two general terms, which are very widely used in autonomic nervous system. Mimetic word is derived from mimicry. Mimicry means to imitate. So these agents, mimetic agents, will imitate the actions of the physiological ligand, that is noradrenaline. So any drug which is imitating the actions of noradrenaline can be considered as adrenomimetic. Adrenergic system is also known as sympathetic system, so they can also be called as sympathomimetic. As I told you, this is a general term, mimetic. Any agent which is imitating the effects of natural ligand is considered as mimetic. Similarly, you have parasympathomimetic is there. That means in parasympathetic system, the neurotransmitter is acetylcholine. So you take a drug which is imitating the actions of acetylcholine, it is considered as parasympathomimetic. So mimetic, imitating the actions. Next one is lytic. The true meaning of lysis is to cause breakdown. But here the figurative meaning is blocking the actions. If any agent, if it is blocking the actions of noradrenaline, it is called as adrenolytic or sympatholytic. You will see these terms in parasympathetic system also. Parasympatholytic, parasympathomimetic. Don't get confused. Think about this word. Mimetic derived from mimicry, imitation. If the drug is imitating the action of physiological ligand, then it is called as mimetic. Blocking the actions, it is lytics. In another term, mimetics are agonists. Agonists bind with the receptor and bring about a biochemical change, which is similar to the physiological ligand. Whereas lytics are also known as antagonists. What do these antagonists do? They go and bind with the receptor, but they will not cause any biochemical response. So they go and block this receptor. So because they are blocking this receptor without further causing any pharmacological action, they are also called as blockers. So these are general words. Mimetics are known as agonists, lytics are known as antagonists or blockers. Yesterday I have given the classification of mimetics. All the drugs which are imitating the action of adrenergic system, they are considered as mimetics. Antagonists or blockers are also known as lytics. Now, once you understand this term, we'll get into all the mimetics and lytics. What I do is, I'll give a classification of entire adrenergic system drugs. Drugs acting on a particular receptor. You have alpha-1 receptor, alpha-2 receptor, beta-1 and beta-2 receptors. Beta-3 receptors, such significance is not completely known. Hence, I'll be dealing with alpha-1, alpha-2, beta-1, beta-2 receptors. Now, while I'm discussing about the receptors, I'll give you a list of alpha-1 receptor agonist and antagonist. And I'll give you the therapeutic use of those agents. Alpha-1 agonist, what is the therapeutic use? Alpha-2 agonist, what is the therapeutic use? Alpha-1 antagonist, therapeutic use. Alpha-2 antagonist, what is the therapeutic use? I'll give a list. See, there will be a lot of drugs, but be patient to learn the drugs because they are involved in a lot of diseases, a lot of therapeutic uses are there. Once you understand the physiology of that receptor, then you will be able to understand why it is used to treat a particular disease or a particular pathological condition. Let us get into that. I'll start with alpha-1 receptor. Again, the moment I say alpha-1 receptor, you need to think about the location. Where do you find alpha-1 receptors? Yesterday I told you about location of receptors. Alpha-1 receptors are present on cutaneous blood vessels, splanchnic blood vessels, mucous blood vessels, and one more is the urethra. So this is the location of alpha-1 receptors. So let us see about alpha-1 receptor things. So alpha-1 receptors. Now in alpha-1 case, you have mimetics are there, lytics are there. Mimetics, as I told you, they are known as agonists. Agonists. Now understand what happens when you activate alpha-1 receptors. Where do you find alpha-1 receptors? On blood vessels, especially on cutaneous blood vessels, mucous blood vessels. Splanchnic means visceral organ blood vessels. Alpha-1 receptor belong to GQ class. GQ subtype of G protein coupled receptor. Let me write this thing. So alpha-1 belongs to GQ subtype. So what happens with GQ subtype? GQ subtype will causes increased levels of calcium. So when calcium levels are increased, what happens? It causes contractions. So majority of alpha-1 receptors are present on cutaneous, splanchnic, urethra, all spaces. So everywhere when this receptor is activated, calcium is released, it causes contraction. So agonism, what happens? Think about this. So when blood vessels are contracted, what is the effect? What happens to blood pressure? When blood vessels are contracted, the pressure increases. So when you use an alpha-1 agonist, what could be the effect? Increase in pressure. So in which condition you can use this? When people has got hypotension or decreased blood pressure, to increase the blood pressure, you can use alpha-1 agonist. So what is the therapeutic use? So I will write the therapeutic uses here. Therapeutic use here, and then the agents here. Now, so the first therapeutic use is to treat hypotension. Now, hypotension is decrease in blood pressure. Now, hypotension can be caused by any of the physiological conditions. Shock, bleeding, they may result in hypotension. Think about this one. When someone met with an accident, multiple injuries occurs in the body. Due to that multiple injuries, everywhere bleeding will occur. Bleeding means loss of blood. So the moment blood volume is reduced, what happens to pressure? Inside the blood vessel, the blood volume is going down. When blood volume goes down, pressure stops. In such conditions, immediately you need to increase that blood pressure. If not, there occurs a condition called as hypovolemic shock. Hypo means low, volemia means emia means blood, vol means volume. So blood volume is reduced and that results in a shock. This is important because every organ needs certain amount of perfusion. Perfusion means blood supply. During accidents, blood volume goes down. Every organ will get less amount of blood supply. That results in hypovolemic shock, which is dangerous. That is the reason why when people met with accident, the immediate thing when they get into the hospital, they need to get blood transfusion to increase their blood pressure. That is a kind of circulatory collapse or shock. Now, hypotension may occur because of some other reasons too. In certain allergies, when you see allergy, you will find a small rash kind of thing. The rash is because of vasodilation. When blood vessel is dilated, more blood will get accumulated. When blood vessel is dilated, see, hypotension is decrease in pressure. It could occur because of any of things. Either if blood volume is reduced, hypotension is there. If blood vessel is dilated, hypotension will be there. To treat both of them, you can use alpha-1 agonists. So therapeutic uses are, these drugs are used to treat shock, hypotension. So what are the agents we have? See, when it comes to agents, you have adrenaline is there. Adrenaline is a hormone which is released from adrenal gland. Neurotransmitter noradrenaline is there, and then dopamine. All these agents are physiological agents. That means inside the body we release all these things: adrenaline, noradrenaline, and dopamine. In fact, when we met with an accident, immediately body will try to release all these neurotransmitters so that vasoconstriction occurs. But when bleeding is profuse, these cannot raise blood pressure. Hence, blood transfusion needs to be carried out. But we read as a class of therapeutic agents. So to treat shock and hypotension, adrenaline, noradrenaline, dopamine are the agents. But all the three natural ligands has got very less duration of action because once they are released, they immediately metabolize by either monoamine oxidase or catechol-O-methyl transferase. There are two different enzymes out there which will metabolize these natural ligands. Hence, the duration of action is very limited one. In certain cases, intravenous injection of adrenaline is given. For example, bee stings. When bee stings to the skin, it causes a kind of histamine release. When histamine is released, vasodilation is there, all the blood will get accumulated. That results in a kind of vasodilation, and hypotension. To treat that, immediately adrenaline injection is given. So adrenaline is used to treat such kind of things. Now, along with that, alpha 1 agonist is also used to treat a different therapeutic use. It has got another therapeutic use, that is to treat nasal congestion. What is this nasal congestion? During cold occurs because of influenza virus. When that virus gets into the body will react, histamines will get released. The job of histamine is to cause vasodilation and lot of mucus formation will be there. So people will have a stuffy nose, breathing problem will be there. The reason why breathing problem comes is because of vasodilation. When blood vessel is dilated, all the nostrils will get closed and breathing problem comes. Now, what do these agents do? Alpha 1 agonists, they cause vasoconstriction. By taking that medicine, blood vessels will get constricted and breathing problem will get cured. That is the reason why you have a drug called as phenylephrine. Phenylephrine. See, this is a very popular drug which you will find in all cold preparations. Cold syrups contains phenylephrine. The job of phenylephrine is to cause vasoconstriction. When vasoconstriction is there, the nozzle block will be released. In fact, there are certain drugs are there like nafazoline, oxymetazoline, all of them, nafazoline, oxymetazoline. These are present in Vicks VapoRubs and sprays. The nasal sprays contain these drugs. Their job is to cause vasoconstriction so that the congestion will get relieved. So it is used to treat nasal congestion. These are also known as nasal decongestants. Congestion is stuffiness of nose. Decongestion means removing that stuffiness. So these drugs are called nasal decongestants, whereas these drugs will increase blood pressure. So they are hypertensive agents. So this is, so alpha 1 agonists, they can be used therapeutically to treat these conditions, shock, hypotension, and nasal condition. And the agents which are there are adrenaline, noradrenaline, dopamine, phenylephrine, nafazoline. All of them are alpha 1 agonists. Now, along with that, see, this is about agonists. Now, let us think about